The Kunlun Mountains are one of the longest mountain chains in Asia, extending more than 3,000 kilometers. In the broadest sense, it forms the northern edge of the Tibetan Plateau south of the Tarim Basin and the Gansu Corridor and continues east-south of the Wei River to end at the North China Plain. The exact definition of this range varies. An old source uses Kunlun to mean the mountain belt that runs across the center of China, that is, Kunlun in the narrow sense, Altyn Tagh along with the Qilian and Qin Mountains. A recent source has the Kunlun range forming most of the south side of the Tarim Basin and then continuing east-south of the Altyn Tagh. Sima Qian says that Emperor Wu of Han sent men to find the source of the Yellow River and gave the name Kunlun to the mountains at its source. The name seems to have originated as a semi-mythical location in the classical Chinese text Shanhai Jing. Extent. For the Pamirs of Tajikistan, it runs east along the border between Xinjiang and Tibet Autonomous Regions to the Sino-Tibetan Ranges in Qinghai Province. It stretches along the southern edge of what is now called the Tarim Basin, the infamous Taklamakan sand-buried houses desert, and the Gobi Desert. A number of important rivers flow from it, including the Karakash River and the Urunkash River, which flow through the Khotan Oasis into the Taklamakan Desert. Altyn Tagh or Altyn Range is one of the chief northern ranges of the Kunlun. Its eastern extension Qilian Shan is another main northern range of the Kunlun. In the south main extension is the Minshan. The Yanha Mountains, a southern branch of the Kunlun Mountains, forms the watershed between the catchment basins of China's two longest rivers, the Yangtze River and the Yellow River. The highest mountain of the Kunlun Shan is the Kunlun Goddess in the Keria area. The Arkha Tagh is in the center of the Kunlun Shan. Its highest point is Al-Mutstar. Some authorities claim that the Kunlun extends northwestwards as far as Kong-Utar and the famous Mutstar Ata, but these mountains are physically much more closely linked to the Pamir group. The mountain range formed at the northern edges of the Sumerian Plate during its collision in the late Triassic with Siberia, which resulted in the closing of the Paleotethys Ocean. The range has very few roads and in its 3,000 kilometers length is crossed by only two. In the west, Highway 219 traverses the range en route from Yecheng, Xinjiang to Lhasa, Tibet. Further east, Highway 109 crosses between Lhasa and Gulmud. Kunlun volcanic group. Over 70 volcanic cones form the Kunlun volcanic group. They are not volcanic mountains. As such, they are not counted among the world volcanic mountain peaks. The group, however, musters the heights of 5,808 meters above sea level. If they were considered volcanic mountains, they would constitute the highest volcano in Asia and China and second highest in the Eastern Hemisphere and one of volcanic seven summits by elevation. The last known eruption in the volcanic group was on May 27, 1951. Mythology. Kunlun is originally the name of a mythical mountain believed to be a paradise of Taoism. The first to visit this paradise was, according to the legends, King Mu of the Zhou dynasty. He supposedly discovered the Jade Palace of Yellow Emperor, the mythical originator of Chinese culture, and met Hsi Wang Mu, the spirit mother of the West, usually called the Queen Mother of the West, who was the object of an ancient religious cult which reached its peak in the Han dynasty, also had her mythical abode in these mountains. Kunlun martial arts. The Kunlun Mountains are associated with a number of different martial arts, and are considered by some as an alternate source for the Daoist martial arts. Some styles associated with the Kunlun Mountains. Kunlun Mountain Fist is a style associated with the Kunlun Mountain Range, although similarities between this style and Kunlun Quan, as well as the name of one of the forms, suggest that this style may be associated with Kunlun Mountain in Shandong Province. Kunlun Quan may be named after the Kunlun Mountain Range. range, or it may be named after Kunlun Mountain in Shandong Province. Gallery.